This is the new Barber Model 1000. I got the 7/16 cut. What this little guy does is he allows you to sharpen your skates, you know, with the old sweepy. Basically, it's a file shaped like the radius of your skate, so that you don't need to go get your skate sharpened so often. You want to watch these instructions and then practice on something. So QR code that. Focus. Instead of ruining these, I want to ruin these. So here we go. Well, here it is. You got a little thumb indexer here, and maybe fingers or whatever. Some pretty obvious marking. Blade Barber 1000 tells you what cut you have. That's cool. I don't know why it tells you the radius like in degrees. Ain't nobody going to the get your skate sharp and said, I like 7.5 degrees, sir. Anyway, in here, right in the middle, is the magic. That is it. That's all it is. It's a file. It might as well be a rat tail file or whatever with a specific curve and guards. That's all it is. So what you're supposed to do, according to the instructions, is you do it one way, right? Zoop, zoop, just one way on this side, but then you got to turn it around and do it zoop on the other side too. You can't do one side only does like a half the radius or whatever. All right, so these are my pond hockey skates, because if I'm going to screw something up, it's going to be them. So you know, can't tell if it's sharp. I mean, it's already pretty sharp. I think I got these done, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply good old your friend Alex Steel Blue Dicom. I'm going to put this on there, and what this does is machinist stuff if you're not into that kind of thing. And what it does is just dye, and that way when you're scratching, you use your awl or your whatever, you want to index a piece of metal. You're not going to use a number 2 pencil. That ain't going to work. You're not going to use a Sharpie. That ain't going to work. Not for something fine. So you put this blue crap on it. And then when you scratch it, metal comes through. So, and I'm doing the sides here because I want to know if this thing is going to take anything off the sides. It probably won't. I mean, I'm pretty sure it won't. But I want to make sure I get full coverage here, because I want to see what the sucker's going to do. It's all blue down there. So when you scratch it, like here, check this out, right? Scratch that, right? You can see little scratch marks, right? So when you file this thing, that's all this thing is, a little file. When you file down that center core, you can see where it's hitting and where it's not. All right, this stuff's dry. So let's see what happens, right? You know, you're supposed to watch the video and then do the thing, but yeah, let's just see what happens. So they say go one way, flip it over, do the other way. Bob's your uncle. Same number on each side, right? So let's just give it a whirl and see what number that is. So I'm going to push down and forward. Ooh, it's bitey. Oh yeah, that's grippy as hell. All right, so the first pass here, I got nothing up here, and opposite of what I thought would happen, I'm actually, man, there's chunks of steel coming out of this. I don't know if you can see that. See that right there? Chunks. So this file, obviously it's sharp there, but it's actually getting on the far side of the radius. I thought I was going to do this side, but it's actually getting the far side. So let's see if I can get this right. Okay, a little less pressure and let it glide more. Okay, I'm gonna cut the crap out of myself. I know it. So that's 2, sorta. That's 3. That's 4. Yeah, you know, it's hard to get a smooth motion, but you can tell there's a bunch of metal coming off this thing. This is for real. Yeah, so look. All right, let's take a real good look at this. I'm on this side, right? I'm holding it, it says this way with the thumbprint on that side. I assume that I would be cutting this side. Not true. We're cutting the far side. You can tell here, right here. My side, far side, right? Far side, it's almost up to the lip. Over here, on my side, still got plenty of dicum there. So that's real interesting. Now, another takeaway here is that this is hard as hell to get right. Because I ain't hitting nothing up here. Nothing. Like, I'm barely touching this. But I am massacring the center here. So I imagine if you don't have a right hand on this, and you don't get the feeling for this, you are going to chowder the hell out of your profile. I mean, again, no more than Timmy at Pro Shop. I don't know what number I'm on right now. Probably 5 or 6. You do the math at home. I'm not even going by number because with the dicum, number doesn't matter, right? All I care about is an even wear line. No wandering. Over here it's wandering. And over here it's not touched at all. So, yeah, okay, you're supposed to go 5 on one side, 5 on the other side or whatever, but that doesn't make any sense if you go, you know, if your third one is super light or you skipped it or whatever like I've been doing. All you really care about is even wear. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit here and just try to get a good, clean pull off the front here. As you can tell, it's hard. It's hard to do. All right. So I got a pretty good, consistent groove going from at least here to here, which is, you know, that's mostly contact, right? You're using your toe and your heel a little bit, but for the most part, this is the part that you're going to be using the most. I'm going to call it here before I destroy these blades. Maybe we can get a couple more. So that's so weird because, you know, now the wear pattern is completely different. Like, man, this thing is abrasive as all hell. It's a really good file. So you push down, forward. Yeah, they're definitely going to frown upon starting in the middle for sure. Don't do that. By the way, this is not a review on how to use the damn thing. This is just some idiot messing around as a camera. I am not sponsored by these dudes. Alright. Well, that looks good. As good as it's going to get for this side. So I'm going to clean that off. And, you know, you can't tell if it's sharp. You know, you can kind of pretend like, oh yeah, well, hell, man, it's sharp. But you don't know until you get on the ice. You have an idea, but it's not real. I wonder if you should oil this. You know, give it a little bit of chooch. All right, let's try this again here. Let's see if I can get good leverage. So I'm on the opposite side now, right? So this side got most of the whatever. Let's see what happens. Well, that's interesting. It's much easier over here. Why is this easier? That's weird. So another thing is, there's some wiggle here. You know, it's hard It's hard to keep straight. I know they can't have more depth because then, you know, if you don't have enough blade, then you can't use it. But if you had ability to kind of clamp it down a little, that'd be cool. All right, so what do we got here? All right. So weirdly enough now, because this is so smooth and nice, I am definitely hitting the side that I'm on. You can tell without a doubt that this entire left-hand side, far side, or my side rather, my side, is clean. There is no Dicom left. There's a little left in the middle, and there's a little left. Yeah. So before I was doing, I don't know, man. All I know is I don't know. That's why I'm practicing on my, you know, everyone has pond hockey skates. If you're buying one of these, you have pond hockey skates. Use your pond hockey skates. Give it a whirl. Go for like public skate or pickup or whatever. See how that works before you start mashing your good pair. Yeah, this is so weird. This, I'll tell you, man, this don't make no sense. This side's sharp as hell. Yeah, they're both sharp. But there's Dicom in the middle. It's really, okay, so I'll tell you this. The Dicom in the middle, all that means to me is that this 7/16 radius that I'm using is not what this had. So if this is probably 1/2 inch or maybe even tighter, I don't know. Anyway, the point is all that Dicom, let's clean that up. All that Dicom, and this doesn't come off with the Dicom doesn't come off with this, so that's not it. So this Dicom here in the middle is all that's left, all the way up and down. All right, so what does this mean, right? It means I got sharp edge, right? This ain't gonna be a good picture, but I got a sharp edge here, and I got a sharp edge there. But unless I'm, you know, pretty good with that stick, I don't know if this is higher or this is lower. I don't know if it's cantered either, you know, if it's more this way than this way, you know, because the more you do on one side, if you don't do it right, if it's not even, you're hosed. When they get the wheel at your pro shop, you know, little Timmy burning away at your steel here, that's one pass, right? They don't flip it over. That's one pass that does top and bottom. It just cuts out a groove, and that's that. And then they run a stone on the far side and near side to flatten out this kerf here, this burr. So I don't know. It did something. It definitely took that. I mean, it took a metric S ton of shavings off. You can see it right here. Check this out. Focus on that, man. So I mean, it comes off nice too. I mean, there's no doubt that this thing is sharp and it's doing something. But practice is going to be the important part of this thing. I think maybe the 15th time you use it is when it starts to pay off. And the first 10 times, you're going to fall on your head. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, not a review. Again, I don't no idea what's going on with this thing. I bought it, and I wanted to see what it would do. It's like, you know, it's like a fisherman. You buy every lure in the store, and you throw it in the water and see what happens. Anyway, this thing. Go buy it. Or don't. I don't care.